What's up, fam? This your boy Cut to the Chase TV. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and be sure to share this video. I got some news for you Negroes today. New details have emerged into the murder of Texas rapper BTB Savage after his alleged killer has been identified as 40-year-old Montrel Burley, who is currently on the run along with the second suspect. Now, as soon as this news broke, many people began celebrating. They got in the victory formation. Many people said the murder of BTB Savage is finally solved. And I'm sitting back looking like, who the hell is Montrel Burley? I don't know this nigga. I ain't heard of this nigga. Before the day, wasn't nobody talking about Montrel Burley, so now I'm curious, who do he have ties to? We heard about producer D. We heard about the friends setting them up, so we thought the motive was robbery. But if Montrel Burley doesn't have any ties to his friends, then who do he have ties to? Now we get the BTB Savage story. Killed a man in self-defense and then went on Vlad TV to brag about it. Show no empathy, show no sympathy, and I criticized him for it. And y'all all told me, shut the hell up. You bugging. That dude don't have to show no sympathy to somebody who tried to rob him. If he got dealt with, he got dealt with. And I said, okay, I feel you guys on that. But if I was BTB Savage and I take a man's life in self-defense and then I get a Vlad TV interview, I'm handling myself different. I'm showing sympathy, I'm showing empathy because I know how the streets work. The streets don't care about right or wrong. They care about feelings. You took the life of my homie, whether he was right or wrong, whether he tried to take your jewelry or not, you still didn't have to kill him. That's how the streets look at it. I'm telling you guys, the streets don't look at it like Omar was tripping. Big O tried to take him and he got dealt with. That's the L we gonna take. That's not how the streets work. So I was saying, maybe he did wrong by doing that in that Vlad TV interview. So fast forward to today. I wake up, check my phone, and everybody is talking about 40-year-old Montrel Burley is now wanted for the murder of 27-year-old BTB Savage. I read the article, I instantly got mad. I got ticked off. I'm like, why would 40-year-old Montrel Burley take out a 27-year-old rapper? Who do he have ties with, and why the hell did this happen? So I check his mom's Facebook page like I always do, because ever since her son died, she been keeping his name alive. She been releasing information on Facebook, and I think she works in law enforcement as well. So I pretty much take her word as gold. So I went to her Facebook page, and she made a very interesting post just moments after it was announced that Montrel Burley is wanted for her son's slaying. I'm gonna read you guys that post right now. We're gonna come back and talk about it. Let's go. Boom! That's the post she made on Facebook, and I'm gonna read it to you guys. None of this would be happening if Ishmael and Omar would have never tried to rob my son. Now that's a very interesting post because you know that the murder suspect is now Montrel Burley. We got a name, we got a face, and you're still talking about Omar and Ishmael robbery attempt. So that lets me know that this dude might be connected to Omar Richardson family somehow, some way. And it didn't take long for me to find out. So I'm on YouTube looking around and I see that YouTuber King AK-47 uploaded a thumbnail showing Omar Richardson and Montrel Burley in the same pic together. I'm gonna show you guys that right now. Boom! That's the photo that King AK-47 posted on YouTube showing that Montrel does indeed have ties to Omar Richardson family. It's over with. Murder solved. Now we have a motive. We don't need to speculate anymore. It seems like BTB Savage was taken out after he trolled Omar Richardson's death. He went on Vlad TV talking his stuff, being very disrespectful, and then he uploaded the crime scene on Twitter, and it seemed like Montrel Burley said, enough is enough, I'm finna ride on them, and that's exactly what he did. Now let me say this to Montrel Burley. Omar Richardson is gone, so I can't address him, but let me address Montrel Burley, 40-year-old Montrel. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're gonna take somebody's life because your friend tried to rob him and he got dealt with. You in the streets long enough, everybody say you a triple OG, you should know how the streets go. You should have just took the L. You should have just held Omar accountable. And he tried to take him, he didn't get the upper hand, he got blasted away. I'm gonna leave this situation alone. I'm gonna continue to live my life, but I'm not gonna crash out over Omar. That's what you did. You basically said he trolled Omar, I gotta go crash out. What about your family? What about your kids? Do you have kids? Do you have a girl? Do you have a wife? Because it seems like you're 40 years old. Once you get convicted, you ain't never getting out of jail. This is a death sentence. And you threw all of it away because somebody was trolling your friend who indeed tried to rob him. I don't believe nothing from that side. Cause at first they were saying Omar didn't rob him. BTB Savage tried to rob Omar. BT Savage is living that life. Whatever Omar had in his pocket, it would never been worth for BTB Savage to invite him to his home to rob him. Y'all sound crazy. Just say what it is, what it is. Just call it like it is. Call a spade a spade. Omar got blasted away because he tried to take BTB Savage stuff and he got left on the floor. Now that's a sad sight to see. It's a very unfortunate situation, but try to take this as a lesson learned instead of retaliation. So now BTB Savage is gone. His mama is grieving, all because of what? He trolled online? You an OG, you should just took that L. And the reason I say that because by Omar Richardson trying to rob BTB Savage, it cost him his life. And by BTB Savage trolling Omar, it cost him his life. And by you guys retaliating against BTB Savage, it cost you guys your life. And I think it's going to be 3 or 4 people getting arrested because you guys didn't seem smart at all. The car was on camera. The description of the suspects was on camera. So it seemed like it wasn't well put together. It seemed like it wasn't well thought out. It wasn't planned out at all. It seemed like you guys just loaded up in the car and say, let's go get them. First sign of BTB Savage, we hopping out blasted, and that's just not smart at all. And you already know how it's gonna go. One person gonna get arrested and they gonna tell on everybody. They gonna flip the switch. They gonna start thinking about a lighter sentence. They don't want to spend the rest of their lives in jail, and they gonna tell everything. That's why I don't believe in rolling with a gang. That's why I don't roll with a group of people. That most time you see me, I'm solo. I got my homie with me. That's it. I ain't rolling with a bunch of people because we do something, we get arrested, somebody gonna tell. It's just how y'all get down. Now, another interesting thing about this case is the group of friends that everybody says set him up. We all know the story by now. They say BTB Savage called his friends, texting his ops, dropping his location. That's when he called his mom and said, hey mom, I need a rental. I need to get to the airport. I'm trying to get the hell out of Houston because they are trying to set me up. And we heard about the producer D did it for $200,000. We heard about his house getting robbed by a group of his buddies moments after his death. And I just want to ask you guys, are you guys still buying that story? Do you still believe that? And if so, do you think those guys have anything to do with his death, or do you think they were just opportunists? You know, some people just like that. Something happened to their friend, very unfortunate, and they take advantage of it. Hey, BTB Savage got whacked. Let's go to his apartment. Let's get the money. Let's get the jewelry. Let's get the expensive clothes and let's ball out. It's an unfortunate event that they took my dog, but now I got to live my life and move on. That's how a lot of people look at it. But my only question is, now that we know Montrel Burley did it, we know it's a warrant out for Montrel Burley, and we know he has ties to Omar Richardson. How did he get BTB Savage's location? See, I still think that it had to be somebody inside BTB Savage camp talking to Montrel Burley. And let this be a lesson learned. Everybody always talking about what did you learn from BTB Savage situation? What do you think BTB Savage should have done differently? And the answer is quite simple. I think he should never been trolling on IG. You may think you nowhere near the ops. You may think the ops are hours away. They ain't gonna do nothing. They ain't really about that life. But anybody can touch you from anywhere. If the bag is big enough, if people feel slighted and people feel disrespected and you start looking like a lick, people will take you out in broad daylight. And I think BTB Savage underestimated his ops. He thought they wasn't really on nothing, but he didn't realize that he took out a big time gang member. He should have moved different. He shouldn't have even been in Texas. 3 hours away, that's not far enough. You should have been in Cali, New York, or you should have just left the country, pursue your music career. You was buzzing. I think you was about to take off. I think Vlad gave you a platform. Yes, he exploited you. Yes, he wanted to talk about this altercation, but it still doesn't change the fact that I think Vlad TV gave you a platform, and I think your career was going to take off. You know how we like them type of stories? Somebody took out an op in self-defense. He can rap about it. He can brag about it. BTB Savage is really about that life. And I think you were starting to garner a reputation. But too bad it was cut short. And now you're no longer with us. And now your mother is grieving. And Miss Bonita Ward, I know you comment on my last video. I know you didn't like some of the things I said about your son. Hell, you didn't like some of the things I said about you. But you still are a very great woman. You're the apple of my eye. I still watch your YouTube. I still watch your Facebook page. You're a very funny lady. And I just like the way you handled your situation through this whole process. You kept your son's name alive. You kept the blogs talking. So thank you for that. And RIP to your son and condolences out to you. But anyway, guys, those are my thoughts on this whole situation. But I want to know how you guys feel about it. Share this video. I love you guys. Peace.
40-year-old Montrel Burley accused of shooting and killing the rapper whose real name is Daryl Gentry. This was last Thursday when Gentry was shot and killed in a drive-by shooting while he was sitting in his car. His mother tells ABC 13 that she thinks he was targeted after shooting a would-be robber at his apartment in San Antonio. Then he bragged about it on social media. So retaliation there. Police say Burley and at least one other suspect are wanted for the killing.